Hey y'all, TK Trinidad here. We are about to watch Total Divas. And I am not alone. Ronnie's in the building. How are you doing?
I'm just making sure my microphone is working properly and I look good. So that's all I'm saying.
Very
I like your t-shirt.
Thank you. It's one of my collectors that I've been working on a couple of shirts. So
Okay.
eventually we'll get to it. The multitude of businesses. But let's get into this. And ironically, not ironically, I've had two conversations with two of the Total Divas that's actually in this episode. So that's pretty cool that all the years later, there's so many, life keeps on lifing. So
Well,
many different projects. Yep.
that's a good thing though, yes?
Oh yeah, it's crazy because when I watched it, I had no idea that I was gonna be in this space, and then
Mm.
knowing some people from it. So it's really cool.
As I
But
told you
let's
last week, yeah, I didn't even know the show that well, and now I can't wait for our Wednesday conversations. This is season 1, episode 7 of Total Divas. So let's get into it.
let's get into
I mean, this
it.
next on, I need to know what's going to happen. We got to do the episode
That
now.
part.
I'm kidding.
Yeah.
That was great. That was really good. I told you when we were recapping there, I think this one had like a lot of real emotions, where you could see
Yeah.
both sides. Specifically
Very good.
Ariane and her boyfriend. I don't think they're fiance. Yeah, they're not a fiance situation yet.
Yeah.
I saw every side of what he was talking about and what his father was talking
African
about.
lifestyle?
Well, that part's the really tough part to argue. That's the hard part to argue. But I'm just saying what I was more seeing it through her lens though, how you want to make your significant other, you want to make them happy, but you got to know to not cross over that boundary of what
Right.
would make you happy. And I thought she really like conveyed that really well. She would have rather like been more about it, but she knew that wasn't
Mhm.
what was in her heart. I don't know. It's just a different side of Ariane we haven't really seen on the show so far,
Yeah.
in terms
I
of
mean, I
watching.
feel like she went, excuse me, she went along with it, then you wouldn't have been able to stop that freight train, especially with 60 of
Right.
his family members coming to congratulate.
Yeah.
So that
And
would have
we
been a
do
situation.
that in relationships. We give because we want to give to the people that we love, but you do have to have that like babe, what she said, she was like, babe, I want a kid maybe in 7 years, like she was
Right.
very authentic. So watching that and that scene, the way they, in reality TV, it's usually edited really fast and it's cut here, cut there, cut everywhere. They let the scene linger a little bit. I just really
Right.
appreciated it. Yeah.
Well,
So
yeah, it was really, it was a good, yeah, it was a good episode, especially dealing with those type of relationship stuff.
mhm,
It was a lot of relationship stuff in
sure.
different ways between like Eva and JoJo and stuff like that. So yeah, it was a good episode. I
As a
forgot how many
You forgot what?
learnable, teachable. I forgot how many teachable moments were with Total Divas.
Well, I want to ask you what you think about, you being such an athlete and injuries and stuff, and that will be as it relates to Brie and Nikki. But before, yes, those moments. Okay, so I on this side too, I get Eva being excited, and she's not. You can't not be excited. And
Right.
JoJo, for some weird reason, I would love to have JoJo on our show here. It's like she showed jealousy, but sometimes I feel like we act like jealousy is a bad thing. Like it's okay to have that emotion and for it to be the fuel to fire your next career move or whatever it is. But it was really tough because they seem like great roommates and great friends and they want to see each other grow. But, they're both newbies and they're both like, ascending to these different parts of the career. I guess I could just really relate to both sides,
Yeah.
JoJo and
I
Eva.
don't think I don't think it was jealousy. What up, Dylan? I don't think it was jealousy. I think it
No?
was because both, you're in a new situation. Like, say, you start at a network and two people come at the same time. Like you want that like longevity. And so if one person starts getting these opportunities, now you're not necessarily jealous of that person, but now you're concerned about your livelihood
Hmm.
because WWE regardless, and the entertainment industry regardless, is very cutthroat
Yeah.
and not intentional, but you can only pay so many people, and it's more about how many people are coming to see you.
Hmm.
So I don't think it was jealousy. It was just more like, okay, well, what can I do to make sure I stand out and make sure
Mhm.
I keep my job? Because
Which was the singing, yeah.
yeah. So yeah, I definitely think she should have sang by herself. But I don't
Mm.
know. That's kind of those moments where coming from the producer like mindset, it's like if you had her go and sing the national anthem and she like hit it out of the park, then like that doesn't really bode well for the storyline.
Mm.
So, and the show that they did was Main Event, which wasn't a like a Raw or a SmackDown. It was kind of a smaller tier show.
Mhm.
So it was a little bit different. It was like in front of a live audience, but it wasn't necessarily taped for everybody to see.
Oh,
So I just kind of
you
yeah, I'm
wonder.
wondering if they played it that way,
Mhm.
so show that they failed, because giving limited time and all this other
Mhm.
stuff for a group essentially to get together to perform
Yeah.
a song, that doesn't seem, you know that doesn't seem like the best idea, because you want them to succeed.
And specifically like Trinity and JoJo we saw with Trinity's father, which was a fun
Right,
scene, but we didn't see Ariane she kind of like just came after and
right.
was like the hype woman. It's cool or whatever, but yeah, you're right. It's that setup for almost like, the success
Set
to
up for
not really
failure.
hit. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. And that's a funny thing too. Yes, if it would have been the national anthem, it's kind of all on you.
yeah.
It's the difference between being an act, on your own, and you
Mhm.
redeem the goods and you redeem the bads, or kind of in
Mhm.
a team setting, things could go different ways. It's always tough to
Yep,
tell what's the right way.
very true.
Yeah. Did you have any comments on seeing Nikki and kind of prolonging her to get herself checked out, and just even that apprehension of, waiting to get you're going to be out for 12 weeks? How'd you feel about all that?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you don't want to be out. I've been injured on quite a few occasions, and
Hmm.
you don't want to be out. Um, and it always sucks because you're used to being one way, and then now you have to essentially take a few steps back to get better.
Yeah.
And essentially, when you have like doctors involved and now money's on the line, you typically are out a little bit longer. Whereas like in the weekend warrior life, or post college or whatever, it's like you're on your own. So there's
Hmm.
like so many people like battling like injuries and nagging pains and all this other, like it's just kind of, people
Yeah.
call it like age, but like it's not supposed to be that way, but that's
Okay.
because of healthcare and all the other things. But preventative
Mm.
care and like rolling out and doing all the things way until like as an everyday part of your life should be that. But
Yeah.
we don't, so we just kind of get used to the pain. And
Yeah.
that's why I suspect for Nikki, it was just kind of like, because she's been an athlete all her life, you have to endure some type of pain to get to the next level. But then
Hmm.
sometimes the pain, like that's the good pain. Then you
Hmm.
have the bad pain where it's like you still want to push through, and then it gets worse. So
And
I
well,
definitely feel where she's coming from with that.
and it affects your business. I think it was even more emotional. I mean, just as emotional, thinking like she has her sister to worry about, and she,
Right.
if I'm not out there, my sister's not. She mentioned something about being 30 years old and kind of having an
Mm-hmm.
assessment of like, what happens in 12 weeks, somebody else is going to
Yes.
be the big star. So it was that common thread that we saw where people were just trying to get in where they fit in. It is a
Mm-hmm.
competitive thing, and it requires everyone to kind of dig deep, which is why we like the show, because there is a little bit of a process. There's like, we're trying new things. I mean, I loved seeing JoJo be so happy when she
Mm-hmm.
found her thing, the singing, and they liked it. So it's fun to watch. Yeah.
Yeah.
Two other notes of the episode, and I guess we're done here for the most part. Eva's Maxim shoot, I mean, she
Mm-hmm.
tore it down. Body was
Yeah.
like insane. Very sickening for sure. And
That's in a
what
good
is it?
way.
Yes, 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 yes. And Ariane's boyfriend's dad throwing down in the kitchen. So it was a fun episode. I liked it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was. I mean, Eva still takes beautiful pictures. I
Mm,
forgot what I saw her doing on Instagram the other day, but she's pink haired out and she's doing her thing.
okay.
So, kudos to her.
Yeah.
Ariane is doing her thing as well. The second edition of Pound Town Wrestling, her promotion is going to be coming to LA April 3rd, I believe, which is a Wednesday. So that's something to look forward to. So yeah, I mean, they're all doing their thing. She's no longer with Vinny. So we know what happens with that. But yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot after 10 months. It's a lot of pressure, and I understand culturally why it would make sense. But those are kind of almost the conversations that you needed to have, like initially. But also, I think probably at the time, she might have been like 25, 24, 25. So you always think that you have like all the time in the world. And so it's like
to set up your life.
To set up your life, especially career wise. So then when you have somebody culturally where it's like marriage is just as important as career, there's a little bit of a clash there. So definitely
it's so fun to watch this show knowing that Total Divas was on 10 years ago, and then seeing where everyone is at today in real time, but then reflecting back. So I'm enjoying it. This is episode 7. Can't wait to be back with you, TK, for episode 8 next week.
There it is. Same here. And yet we are going to get to Love in WWE eventually, y'all, as time permits. Life is life in with so many projects. But thank you guys so much for watching. Where can they find you?
Let's do it randomly, RonnieJr.com, and also on Twitch. Yeah.
And you can find me everywhere at TK Trinidad, everywhere and all things. Thank you guys so much for watching Women's Wrestling Talk. You can follow us on everything at WWE Talk Pod. With that being said, thanks for watching Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet. Ciao, y'all.
What is poppin', you beautiful humans? It's your girl, Ariane Andrew, and you are watching Women's Wrestling Talk.